Kimberly, the Gulf Coast baller, the Panhandle Pro from Pensacola, Florida. And I see, normally I say I'm here with another smoke screen exclusive, but this is special. This is kind of bigger than an exclusive. This will be the holy grail of smoke screen exclusives. You see who's in front of me. I don't. This was one of my childhood crushes.
You know something, but nobody told me. Everybody had all these crushes. I'm like, yo, no one gave me.
and I'm pretty sure hundreds and thousands of you all's crushes too. And I don't want to prolong it. There's no intro I could do to even satisfy what's going on right now. So I'm gonna just get to it. The beautifully talented writer, actress, and the 10 other things she's going to tell us about that she does. The wonderful, the Charnele Brown.
Yay! Thank you so much for having me. I always tell people it's not a given, and I really thank you for allowing me to be on your platform. I really appreciate it.
I thank you for responding and allowing me to talk to you. Because I'm in music as well.
Oh, okay.
And one of my things I got a lot of philosophies. I say, like, man, and just in show business, entertainment in general, like 80% of the business is bad business.
Yes, it is.
Like, and a lot of it comes from just the simple not answering of, social media now, so it's inboxes and DMs.
Yes.
But emails and things, I reach out. I have checks for people when I'm dealing in certain capacities, and I'm hitting your inbox, DM, the contact number in your bio, and I get no response.
What?
So okay. I was rolling the dice, hitting you up. And when you responded, I had to, because I wear glasses, but I could see close up. So I had to, I was like, oh, snap. I even told the rest of the smoke screen crew, usually when I'm doing interviews, I wait till they're done and I'd show them a screenshot. And I'd be like, check this out. But I couldn't hold this one. I said, yo, this might be going down. But to even see you in the group, and I love that group, the Tubi group that's on Facebook.
The Tubi. I think what I love about Tubi, it's an opportunity for independents, to get their stuff out there, and they're making money.
Yes.
These children are making money, which I love.
Yeah.
Tubi,
so
need more of that.
So we're gonna get into it, but for the people that don't know, let's go to the beginning. Tell us where you're from, how you got started, all that.
Wonderful. I am from East Hampton, Long Island, New York. I'm from the Hamptons.
Okay.
Loved out there, born and raised, crazy as ever out there. Second grade, always knew. I always tell people, know your purpose. We're on this earth for a reason. God gave us each a purpose. And I tell people something that you love to do and not get paid. And I loved acting. I loved manipulating people. And actors are liars.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you the stories real quick. When my parents, I knew very early, but my parents knew when I was in second grade, and I've told this story. And then I was watching, I'm showing my age, Lassie. You probably don't remember Lassie.
I remember Lassie.
You do? Don't you? Yeah. And actually, one time Lassie didn't come home the time that he was supposed to. And I started crying. And I realized, my God, I can make myself cry by remembering bad things. At the time, I didn't know it was a name called Stanislavski, the method, but I was in second grade. So we used to go to the pond every Friday. Miss White was my teacher, to see these damn ducks. And I was like, they're not going to do anything different. They're going to be ducks on the water. And so what I did was I said, I'm going to try it. And so we're at the pond, and I remembered Lassie, and I started crying. And the teacher came up to me, no, what's wrong? And in second grade, you don't think anything through. I didn't think that I would get the response that I got. And so I was like, I can't be here at the pond. And they were like, why? I was like, because my brother died in the pond. Mind you, I have no brothers. I have one sister.
Oh,
I was so convincing that that we ended the venture, and we went back, and all the kids were giving me their candy, and I was like, I got them. It was just wonderful. I didn't know that Miss White had called my mom, and she was like, I'm so sorry, that we took her to the pond. And she was like, why can't, she go to the pond? She said, well, your son. And my mom was like, what son? She was like, the son that died in the pond. Needless to say, I'm on my way home skipping with Candy. She was like, she met me at the door. So how was your day? I'm like, great. How was your day? But actually, I got the whipping of my life. And she made me to go back to the school the next day to apologize to the students and to give back what what they gave me. And I think what is really weird is I was more pissed that I had to go back as to being sorry. And I think my parents knew that, and so they put me in acting classes immediately. They said either you're going to be a pathological liar or you're going to be an actress. So that's how it happened.
And how old were you at the pond?
I was in second grade. What was that? Is that 9, 8?
And the rest is history.
The rest is history.
Okay, so I I like to do my due diligence. I see you telling me you did Broadway.
I did Serafina. I was the only American in the cast for a minute. Yeah. And I have another story. It's amazing. I have another story with that. Who is the lady? Damn, from Good Times. Esther Roll.
Esther, I'm talking about Estelle.
And I was coming out the back, after the show was over, and she came up to me, and it was the funniest thing. I don't know, with Africans, because I was only American, and so she was like, I really enjoyed your show. Like she was doing it, and I looked at her, I was like, oh my God, Esther Roll, I really enjoyed your work. I freaked her out. She was like, you're not from Africa? I'm like, no, I'm from here. So it was amazing. It was just amazing encounter, with that. But I was on the road. I at the Court Theater in LA, in New York I think it was for a year, and they were on our way to tour. I was gonna go to Africa. I was gonna go to the motherland. Man. I was so excited. We were gonna tour for a year and a half, and Different World came about, and I just auditioned because they said audition. I was on my way to Africa. I really didn't care about a Different World. I didn't care about anything. I was a theater baby. I've gotten to the point where when you arrive, when you go to Broadway. So I was happy. And twist of fate, I auditioned. No big deal. Didn't care. Audition again. Didn't care. Next thing I know, I'm on a plane.
You've been in Hollywood your whole life. You just rolled. You just went from the pond to Broadway to Different World. I didn't even have to segue. Wow.
Yeah.
And so you just auditioned. I'm going to Africa, whatever. And
I'm
then
going to
boom.
Africa. And I tell people too, just as actors, if any actors out there, when you don't care, and when you're your own competition, you'll be fine. When you start comparing yourself to other people, you'll lose. I didn't care. I was going to Africa. I didn't care. I didn't really care about it.
So. And that just reminded I meant to put on my FAMU shirt for the HBCUs for the to represent for a Different World. So again, Kim on A Different World. How was it? Like, what was the experience being on A Different World, just in general?
It was amazing, actually. Debbie Allen, what she did was she chose theater babies. So we were like a repertory company. So to the point where we were there from Monday to Thursday and off on Friday. That's how fierce she had us. And so she was looking for theater babies that can go in, get in and get out. I remember her telling us, Miss Things, she was like, look, I got a family at home. And we're going to do this right. We don't need to be here 5 days a week. So let's get in here and do it. And we did it. It was an amazing experience. I love everyone on the cast. I just love them. I adore them. Not only do I love them, I like them.
And it's a difference. But we don't need to breeze past that, because the behind the scenes and the directing is it takes genius and knowing things. You said Debbie Allen put together theater babies.
Yes.
So she took people that had been through certain experiences and had a certain discipline. She put her trust in that structure.
Yes. Yes.
That's freaking amazing.
And and I think it made her job a lot easier.
Cause she that's freaking amazing.
Yeah, that's a hell of a director because she knew exactly what she was doing. And because of her, I have an acting school here in Houston. I find myself, it's amazing. I find myself saying things. And I'm like, oh my God.
Who has an acting school?
I do. 80% of my actors are working. Yeah.
What's the name of the school?
Charnele Brown Acting Academy.
In Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas.
80% of your actors are working.
80% of those divas are working.
Look at God.
That's God. That's God. I didn't expect that at all. I always tell people, I didn't expect that. I really didn't.
What made you start the school?
God. Because actually I came here to Houston. I was in LA and he told me, go to Houston because it's going to be the next entertainment set and to get those divas ready. So when they come, they can compete. I said, okay. And I'm here.
See what obedience gets you?
Oh, but I have to tell you though, before anybody says that, yeah, I got a couple of big old swollen knots in my head for not listening.
Don't we all? Don't we all?
You know what I mean? So it's not all like, oh, I follow and no. I had to be pinned up against the wall to follow.
who was your favorite guest on The Different World?
Lena Horne. That woman, she walked in the room and she was like floating.
I was going to say, like walking on air, huh? She's so graceful.
God, I mean, just and gracious and so humble. And I talked with her and, and she was talking to me and I was trying to retain it, but I was just in awe. And so I was just looking at her, like I was just smiling. I was just looking at her, and just smiling at this woman that is just a legend. And she was so human.
And doesn't that surprise you? Someone that you just hold so high and you say, hold on, they got a heartbeat and stuff just like me.
God. That was it was so many, but she was my highlight. I just, something about her when she walked in that room, I just attached myself to her. It was just phenomenal. And so she was my ultimate favorite.
Did you get a chance to meet Tupac?
Well, yes, I did. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Incredible man. We miss him dearly. Very intelligent young man. When we were talking, I'm like, it's more to him than people think. Yeah, he's something to reckon with. I don't know why God did what he did, because I remember him telling us that he wasn't going to live past 25, and we used to say, "Man, come on, man." And sure enough, he died at 25.
He told y'all that
he had a gift. Yeah, he was on this earth for many reasons, and passing away at 25, he did more 25 years in a lifetime than anybody would do.
And that's crazy. Everybody pretty much has the same story and the same thing to say. Like when they talk about him, whether it's people that met him shortly or some of his closest friends that like basically he knew what was going on with him.
He knew. He already knew. That's why he did all those albums. He knew. And when it happened, I was like, wow. I was like, he's definitely God's child. No matter what you see, one thing with entertainers, people gotta understand that's not them, and they equate entertainment with them. That's nothing to do with them.
Right.
He's the entertainer. Yeah.
Now, my favorite actress is Jada Pinkett.
Really?
Yes. My favorite actress is Jada Pinkett. My favorite actor is Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, I love
it started and I remember when it started with Jada in Low Down Dirty Shame.
Wasn't she great? So cute.
That's where that came from. Did you get a chance to interact with Jada?
Yeah, not that much because we didn't have a lot of scenes.
Hmm.
together because they were like the new crop. And
Right.
so they had to like usher them in. Not much, but what I can tell you about Jada, baby, she's feisty. You don't want to tangle with that.
And that's how Peaches was in Low Down Dirty
You better
Shame.
believe it. You don't want to tangle with that one. But a good heart, good spirit. Good heart.
Did you did you see um the interview with Kadeem on the Breakfast Club
Wasn't that
w-
fun?
with
That
him
was
and
so much
Jasmine Guy?
fun. So much fun. Yeah.
They talked about the one of the interesting things to me was like the pay scales back then and how you all had the highest rated show and was still getting treated
Like crap.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and like did do you remember like those vibes? Did you have any of
You
the
know,
same feelings?
so weird. I didn't because Jasmine covered us. She covered us, and so she would go in and fight for us. And I didn't know it until actually, afterwards, and we talked about stuff. And so, myself and Cree, we did not really feel it as much as they felt it because we were new coming in,
Mhm.
and coming in like that. Our main objective was to make sure that we live on that screen.
Right.
So we didn't, they didn't come to us with all of that at all. And so on the Breakfast Club, like I did an interview, I was like, I learned stuff, and I was on the set.
It be like that. I remember
Yeah.
I remember when New Edition was on the Breakfast Club and like some of them was saying like they learned stuff for the first time watching the movie.
Yes,
And they brothers,
they're
so
brothers. And
so
so I Breakfast Club. That was one of my favorite interviews. Oh God, it was just beautiful, and I learned a lot from it. Who knew?
yeah, man, Hillman, Different World, it did a lot subconsciously, man, for people and having us wanting to go to college and
Yeah,
HBCUs. I love
HBCUs.
Sinbad.
Yeah.
Like what do you think? How do you think the importance of that, or what do you think that did for the culture? Because we don't have that anymore.
Yeah, back then, I mean, we didn't know it either because we didn't have social media back then,
Right.
and so I missed that because we were free to do whatever the heck we wanted to do, and not be judged. So I'm blessed that we were in that era, But um, when we realized that, if the kids were going to school I mean, it just did our heart good. We had no idea, and I think that if we did have the idea, too much pressure
Right. And see, I
to,
and
to
I didn't even
represent.
I didn't
Yeah.
even realize it till I got older, because I grew up with my mom and my pops wasn't there,
Hmm.
but like we didn't have a bad relation. Like my mom never talked down on them or nothing.
Hmm.
And when
Right.
I got older, we had a good relationship. But one of the examples I always give, like, some it would have been easy for me to resent him, but I always tell people like I never resented him because like I wanted to be the Huxtables.
Right.
Like, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
and like I didn't think about what I'm saying till you think about what you're saying, and then you notice that these things you're watching on TV are really, going into you. I got a son,
Mhm.
and I try to, and I have him watching like the old stuff like that
I
because
love
they
it.
watch this stuff on YouTube now. Like I be in the front, I be like, hold on, what you watching?
I know.
No, no,
It's
you got to
crazy.
turn that off. No,
It's a
so
free for all. It's crazy.
yes. So I rather like we watching the old school stuff like that I you know what I'm saying that I grew
Well,
up on and things that got
getting back.
principles and stuff.
Yeah, getting back to what's important. But also, you were talking about your mom and actually, I'm doing a play myself, my business partner. His name is Andre Petrie, and
Okay.
he came up with the idea of doing a one-man show called The Black Man.
Okay.
Why black men do what they do, and we're going to be doing
Mm.
that March 2nd through the 4th here in Houston, Texas, at the Match Theater. And we wanted to do it because right now we're in a crisis um, with black men and black women. We don't
Okay.
trust each other anymore. And
Oh.
and the thing is this: it's I would believe, and this is my opinion, it's just an extension of systematic racism because we got through slavery, got yeah, you know, barely. And then, drugs in our community, we got through that barely, but we got through it, and redlining, with the real estate, got through that. Now they want our real estate back that they didn't want,
Right.
and then you have all of this aid from the government pushing out our black men and
Right.
having us think, that, we are the end all. Let me tell you, see, this is the thing, and this is what we hope the play will let people know.
Okay.
Black men do what they do because who raised them? Who raised black men?
The black woman.
Ah. So we have to take accountability as well. And we don't.
I ain't know we was gonna have church on Friday now. I ain't that's but nah, I ain't know now. Me pass the collection plate around.
Hey.
But yes, hey, I agree, and I'm glad that that's something y'all gonna address. And I'm also glad you're talking about that, which is a current project of yours, which is what I really want to get into. I just had to get the past and some of the different world stuff out the way for me personally, and for the fans out there. But what actually drew me to you was when I saw you saying that I want to say you wrote one of the movies that are on Tubi.
On Tubi, called Changes.
Okay, let's get into that. When did you start, writing and getting into the independent films and things like that?
Actually, it was kind of like, as an actor, you think that that's all there is until you realize that out of necessity, that you find that you have other talents and gifts that God will make room for.
Okay.
And that's what he did. What I wanted to do, so people will understand, I've been out of the loop because I was taking care of my mommy. She had Alzheimer's. She died a year ago.
Okay.
And I had her. I had her for 20 some odd years. So I dropped out because she was.
So that's what you were doing.
Yes, I was taking care of my mommy, and in the interim, God gave me a Lily in the Valley, and that's when I created the school, so I could still be a part of. But my main objective was my mom, to take care of her. And so when she passed away, it was almost like she kind of gifted me with freedom, which really is weird. I would rather have her here, but I thank God, that she said she was ready to go, and she went, but she's with me in spirit. Her soul is all around me because souls don't die. And so I don't, she's always with me. But people need to understand that's why you haven't seen me. I've been taking care of what's more important to me.
Hey, and that's what a lot of people don't realize. When the famous people, when they disappear, like you don't know what's going on. People think, oh, they fell off, man. People are taking care of their families. Heck, Anita Baker just said, screw it, I'm gonna go be human at home and
take care of my parents.
She ain't peek out the door or nothing until now, 27 years later. And I'm sure this is it. So if you don't catch this tour, like that's it. Yeah. So like, man, you don't know what people have going on, man, until they tell you, if you find out, or a documentary or something. And some people just be straight. I'm sure I mean, that was one of my mom's biggest fears. Like, hey, be careful out there.
Yep.
Man, hey, the entertainment, show business is worse than the dope game.
Man, show business is the devil. And the thing is this, but with God's children, he's allowing us our light to shine within that murk. That's why it's important that we are there. It's important that you are doing what you're doing. It's important. It really is, because it is murky and it's getting worse. But they can't stop us though.
There it is.
Stop. Nah.
So this movie, is this the first movie that you wrote?
Yeah, the first movie. It's family oriented, which we put it on Tubi because it was a good platform. But as you can see in Tubi, it's a lot of shoot up, bang, get bang. There's a lot. It's a lot, but it's a lot of wonderful stuff too. You just have to search for it. And it's a family. It's family. It's family oriented, and we wrote this piece once again gearing toward Black men. That you can cry, you can resolve issues from dealing with each other, You know what I mean? I mean, it's
Mhm.
there, but once again, it's taught. It's family. They were taught by a great mother and father, and so
Okay.
when drama ensues, they handle it with grace.
Tell me about the director, some of the actors in it. Let's talk about the movie.
Yeah, my business partner directed it.
Okay.
He created it as well, and I wrote it.
Okay.
And what I did, you're gonna love this. I use majority of all my students. I practice what I preach because I taught you. So if I teach you, I know what to expect on that set. That's what I did.
Oh, you kind of like, oh, that's like the Master P. Of, that's that's really dope. I'm gonna have to I'm definitely gonna have to check that out. We're gonna have
Check
to
it
see
out.
if
Yeah,
we can get that on the episode and review that.
yeah. And the
Um
reading as well with Monique. It's on BET Plus.
I've been
Um,
seeing that.
I'm in that. It's amazing that I'm the director, Courtney Glade,
Okay.
incredible, and Lee Daniels had faith in him and picked him up, and he's on BET Plus. But I had one scene, and I've getting so much feedback on one. God is good, isn't he? One
All the
freaking
time.
scene, and I
And
did
that
it because I love his work and I love him,
mhm.
and that's why I did it.
Okay, yeah, we needed to know that because I've seen the advertisement for it. Then I've seen people. It's a scare movie, right?
No, it's a psycho thriller.
Psycho through.
Yeah,
Oh, that makes even more sense. The
yeah.
psycho part, because I'm
Mhm.
seeing people saying, "Yeah, I started watching that and I had to cut that off."
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, man, what's going on? Because they don't even really make real scare movies no more. So
Yeah,
like, what's
this is a good one. And Monique is wonderful in it. Wonderful. And I tell people too, you're not going to recognize me. You have to sit for a minute to go, wait a minute. And that's the beauty of acting.
shout out to Monique, the
Shout out to Monique.
reuniting with Lee Daniels.
Yes.
Uh,
Isn't that great? Oh, I love that.
The whole nine. That we're gonna have to do that too. So
Yeah.
what's next? What's in the future?
We're going to be doing The Black Man. We're going to be touring it. We'll probably come into you. We'll be going everywhere with that
Okay.
because it's dealing with mental health. Because we
Oh,
all have PTSD. Let's get real. All the stuff
huge.
that black people's gone through, I'm surprised that we all had that because we've gone through crazy things. And especially with black men, it's silent. Like I said, you guys, we have I can call up anywhere and get help. Anywhere. I mean, I can walk out my door. You guys, not so much. And that's why I think a lot of men flock toward the gentleman that passed away. Um, and he was very controversial. What is his name? And all he had all the black men, and he was rating the women at like 5, 7.
Oh, Kevin Samuels.
Kevin Samuels, as crazy as you, but that was an outlet. What he did was, I mean, that was his thing. God bless him. God bless his soul. But that was an outlet that I don't think was really healthy, but it
Mm-hmm.
was at least an outlet.
Mm-hmm.
It was an outlet, and that's all you guys had at the moment. Think about it. A black man. What about a talk show? Since Arsenio, when was the last one?
He had to come back, and it wasn't one since him.
So there's
Yeah,
nothing, and I know it's intentional. I don't care what anybody says.
yeah.
It's
It is.
intentional.
Again, I didn't know we were gonna have church. It is. I tell people, especially like we all, adults and grown now.
Thank you.
Everybody has problems, and
Yes.
I always I was like, look, I have a therapist and a psychiatrist,
There you
and
go.
I have for a few. I was like, man, look, I pay people to talk to my problems because, like, hey, we just gonna end up having a peeing contest if like you telling me your problems, I'm
Right.
telling you my problems, like. This
But
ain't
you
this
just
ain't
want
gonna work.
somebody to listen. Black
Right.
men need for us to listen. No opinion, no feedback. Unless, you ask for the feedback. But you just want to vent, and we haven't, I don't know what's going on with it. I know people have had bad experiences with black men. We've had experiences, but you cannot generalize all black men because 2 or 3 or 4 of yours weren't great. You attract what you are.
don't know now, Charlie. They ain't gonna like you saying this now.
You think I really care? I'm sorry.
But no,
I'm being honest.
I'm glad, and it is it's great that it comes from a woman. It shows that you understand what's going on, and if you understand, there are hundreds or thousands more that understand as well, and think like you. It's just today, especially with social media, I got like a 90-10 rule. Like the 10%. Like the wrong and negative people, they're the loudest. And that's what people seem to, see and read and hear. So they think that's what's going on.
Exactly.
When really it's not, because the 90%, like the people that aren't miserable don't have time to sit online and comment and do all this stuff. They're somewhere thriving and being happy.
There you go.
So I think the young folks say touch grass. That means go outside or something. If you step off line, you will see a difference. I see some of the people like I've seen like Lil Boosie and other people say people that get like flack online. They say that's internet. I don't get that in real life. When I go places, I get love. So I don't get that on the internet. And one of my philosophers, I say the internet isn't real life, but I had to realize it's not real life for me.
Right.
But it is real life for like the younger generation.
Yeah. I mean, because I always tell my students too, when you get to a point, if you know who you are, don't respond. Because what they're trying to do is get a rise out of you. I told them, I said, right now I'm labeled as a lesbian. I married a white Jewish lawyer. And then I am James Brown's daughter. Because somebody really, just
three different
me about James Brown. That I wasn't supportive.
And I always said if I got famous like that, I was gonna start my own rumors. I wasn't even gonna let it wait. So when my friends call, hey, I heard. Oh, you like that one, huh?
You like that one?
I'll start my own rumors, man. Because hey, why not? Hey, but as long as your name is out there,
and they don't respond. If you know who you are, you don't need to respond to anybody
at all. Because that's another thing. People give too much energy to things they don't mess with. I don't understand it. If I see something I don't mess with, I just keep scrolling.
Exactly. And I said, where were these people before? And when we joke about it, I was like, they're probably in their mother's basement with a computer, and this is the only way for them to communicate. And you're going to give them your power?
Really? People today will see something that they don't like and write an entire think piece about it.
Yes, and you're going to try to cancel you. I'm like, cancel.
And I be looking like, hold on, man. Like you probably never wrote a paper that good in school in your life, but you will write a think piece about something you don't like. But the things you do like, that's what we want to hear about. But like that, hey.
But I love what you said about the 80%, and that are good. I really be 80%, and I believe it. I'm with you. That are doing wonderful. But we're all in a cave, and we need to come out of the cave.
We got because it's really bad out here.
It's bad. It's bad.
It's really bad, man. But I am so glad you are thriving, doing well. You look like you're in a good mental, spiritual space.
I am.
You're providing opportunities for others. Not only that, like you practice what you preach. You have an acting school. Then when you got a chance to do a movie, you put your students in the movie. Like, what else can you ask for?
That's it. And I'm going to continue. I'm going to continue to do what I'm supposed to do. My purpose.
Please tell the people one more time the name of the movie, where they can see it at, and then your social media stuff and how they can follow you and what you got going on.
Okay, actually, the movie's on Tubi. It's called Changes. It's faith-based, so it's one of those, which is great. And then we have the Black Band coming up. White Black Men Do What They Do at the Match Theater in Houston, March 2nd through the 4th. And also too, it's so weird, all the handles and stuff. I really don't know. I tell people Google me.
Hey, that's one of my lines. Google me.
Right, Google me. Because and it's not being pretentious or anything. I just don't know the handles. I don't know.
See, boy, you famous when you don't know your own social media.
They always ask me, so what's your hand? What is your thing? I'm like, what?
Hey, well, I definitely appreciate you taking the time out to talk with me. I will definitely watch the movie. I'm gonna watch. What's it called? Reasons.
Changes.
No, with Monique in it.
Oh yeah, The Reading.
The Reading. I said Reasons. The Reading. I'm gonna watch both. I'm gonna watch both those movies, and I'm gonna definitely keep up with everything you got going on from here forward, man. I just appreciate you talking to me, Kim. I'm talking to Kim.
I appreciate talking to you. I mean, actually, I always tell people I give what I get, and so I appreciate you. Thank you for making me feel comfortable in your home.
Talking to Kim. It's almost Valentine's Day, man. This is like, man, it's going down. Hey, this was another Smoke Screen exclusive, man, and we are out.
Thank you so much. Thank you.